ABC 13 is tracking the tropics with hurricane season just around the corner.
Chief Meteorologist George Flickinger has done his research to try to determine what could be coming our way.
Hi, everyone. We're just over 1 month out from the start of hurricane season, and I wanted to do some homework to give you an early look at the tropical trends for the upcoming season. But first, we have to make it look like a hurricane here in the studio. So let's crank up the wind and the rain. Here we go. Yes, okay, there it is. We're in the storm. Now we're ready. All right, I want to show you the list of tropical storm and hurricane names for this year and also some history of why we have names for tropical storms and hurricanes. This is the list for 2025. If some of these names look and sound familiar, this list is repeated every 6 years until a name is retired. One of the new names on the list this year is Dexter. This is because Hurricane Dorian was retired. That storm, you may remember in 2019, it was an awful Category 5 hurricane in the Caribbean. And then last year, Hurricane Helene's name has just been retired. So a little bit about the history of hurricanes and the names of the storms. The process of naming storms started in the year 1953, and this was done to ease the confusion because you could have more than one storm in the Atlantic at the same time. The storm names become retired if they become infamous. One example is Hurricane Camille in 1969, which is still the worst hurricane disaster we've ever seen here in Virginia. So when you look at the hurricanes from last year and you plot them on a map, it looks like this. You can see the paths of all the storms, some of them staying in the Atlantic, but unfortunately, some of these storms did reach land. Florida alone had 3 separate hurricanes making landfall. The most infamous was Hurricane Helene, which just got its name retired. Over 20 inches of rain in the Carolinas, and we had tornado warnings here in Virginia. You could compare Hurricane Helene last year to Hurricane Camille, which hit Virginia in 1969. Amherst and Nelson County picked up 20 to 30 inches of rain. We actually saw similar rainfall amounts in the Carolinas. 20 to 30 inches of rain fell across the Carolina mountains, and you saw some of the awful pictures and video. We also had tornado warnings in Virginia. We were on live with continuous coverage of this, and if you were watching us last year on September 27th, 2024, you remember we showed you this picture. This was the Dry Fork tornado, which was sent in by one of our viewers. A close-up look at the tornado. This was firmly in contact with the ground, and just beyond the trees, it was doing damage to homes. The National Weather Service ended up rating this tornado as an EF2. So this was a major tornado with wind well over 100 miles an hour. This tornado was on the ground for 7 miles, and it was wider than 2 football fields. Now let's look ahead to the 2025 hurricane season. One of the forecasts has already come out from Colorado State University, and they are forecasting a busier, a more active than normal hurricane season. If you're wondering what normal means, on average, 14 named storms, with half of those becoming hurricanes and 3 of those major hurricanes. That is considered a normal season. The forecast for this upcoming season is more active than that, with 18 named storms, that's tropical storms and hurricanes combined, 11 hurricanes and 5 major hurricanes, meaning Category 3 and stronger. I want to give you my thoughts on future hurricanes. Climate change, it can't be denied. The ocean temperatures are warmer, much warmer than, say, 20, 30, 40, and 50 years ago. When I was researching some of the Gulf Stream temperatures, say, just off the coastline of Florida, on average, parts of this is running 4 degrees warmer than just 20 years ago. That's a big difference over a fairly short amount of time. And so the tropical math works out like this. If you have warmer air, you're going to have warmer oceans, warmer ocean currents, and it is more favorable for hurricanes to form and those hurricanes to strengthen more rapidly. When you look at hurricanes over the years, typically the peak of hurricane season has been in late August and into early September. But there are three things that I think will change in the future with hurricanes. And we have to bring back the wind and rain here in the studio, make it kind of look like a hurricane. Okay, so here are the three things that will change, I think, in future decades. Due to the warmer ocean temperatures, we're going to see more hurricanes forming after the traditional peak of hurricane season and stronger hurricanes in late September and October. Unfortunately, I also think that we're going to see more flooding potential for the East Coast states, including for us in Virginia. Okay, so I do want to give you a little bit of good news.
Please.
While I do think that we definitely have the potential, unfortunately, for another Hurricane Helene or Hurricane Camille here, the forecasting technology has greatly improved.
Right.
So it wouldn't be a surprise if a storm like that is going to occur. We could give you days of warning.
So we can be prepared. Trust George, right?
We
to
can
higher
be
ground.
prepared for these stronger hurricanes. That's what we're here to do.
All right, George, thanks.